that right? A well-known, well-travelled industry and academic expert who is the Director of E-Tourism Lab and Deputy Director of the International Centre for Tourism and Hospitality Research at the University of Bournemouth. And that's just the start. I have been told he's obsessed with social media. It's an inside source, Dimitrios. And his current research includes smart hospitality, a topic you'll be hearing about, social media context, and mobile marketing. His talk will cover how you can remain competitive as we head towards an ever more digital and technical future. Thank you, Dimitrios. Disrupt away.
Thank you very much. I was warned not to be under the microphone. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this wonderful opportunity to interact. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the invitation. About 2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I met Tony in the BHA conference, and since then we've been discussing a lot of developments in the industry, and we've been developing a partnership that is beneficial to all of us. And last night when he was speaking, I was cancelling slides because a lot of the things that he was talking about, I've had them on another slide. So I've only got about 105 slides now to go through. The other 85 were deleted last night. There are 2 things I'd like you to take away from here. This is an industry that we're not doing smart things. This is an industry, and nobody's going to tell you that, but I can tell you that. This is an industry where we're driving by looking at the mirror. What we've always done. I've got my context. I know what other people are doing, and that's what I'll be doing. What I'm going to talk about is really how we're getting to 2030. If you think about it, 2030 is about 11 years away. For those of you who have built hotels, you know that you need a 10 years planning cycle. And all of you who are in marketing and all of you who are in sales, you really need to understand where you need to create the infrastructure in order to be able to do that. I'm spending a lot of time in a lot of organizations, and I'm talking to a lot of people, that the only thing that they would like to know is what's going to happen in the next 6 months. A lot of people are coming to university and say, you know what, Brexit is happening. I need new students. I need to talk to your students now because I need them next week. It doesn't work like that. I really want you to start looking to long term. And hopefully by the end of the presentation, you'll have a lot of information, a lot of stimuli to actually do that. This is my university, so have a look on what we do. This is my books, please buy them. For every book that you buy, I get a pint of beer. It works about like that, so please buy the books. This is the journal I'm chief editor of. And 3 events I'd like to promote. One of them is that we're doing with Tony and Grange Hotels and Global Hospitality Services, 7 and 8 of February in the Great City Hotel. That's a fantastic opportunity to interact with us and our students. This is a fusion conference. Have a look on the URL. Feel free to take pictures. If I'm in the picture, please hashtag Buhalis. My mom keeps looking where I am because I keep moving around and said, where is he today? This is the courses that we're doing in Bournemouth University. These professional courses, I've got some flyers for you to take away, to come and see us, and this is the conference we're doing in April. I'm a salesman at the same time, right? Okay, so in this kind of audience, I feel at home. 3 things I'd like you to buy, 4 things. Books. This is free, hosted by Tony. This is very competitively priced in order to engage with us and the knowledge creation. And this is also a conference that we do later on. A lot of people are, when they see a professional academic, they kind of think, what the hell does he know about business? I work in business, and this is some of my clients, and I've done all kinds of crazy things in my life. And I continue doing them, and I'm enjoying really, really much. So 2030. Zoom. Can you close your eyes? 10 years, 11 years ahead? What's going to happen? Is the world going to be like today? Who knows what the world going to be after today, right? I'd like you to start thinking a little bit strategically. WTO says that we are going to have 1.8 billion international travelers. Right? That does not include domestic travelers, especially big countries like China, US, India, Brazil has got huge domestic travel growth as well. So this is international travel only. The world is changing dramatically. Global economics, global politics. Mr. Trump is going to be still. Technology will be critical for all the activities. Market changes, consumer trends and demands. In 10 years' time, those who are 18, 19 years old, they'll be 28, 29. They'll be at the peak of their career. These are the kids, the millennial kids that they were born in 2000, that they don't necessarily know what is paper, what is analog. They've already gone digital. They do everything digital. It's a very different mindset. And of course, hospitality is going to be changing dramatically. When you look into countries and what's happening in different countries, you see which are the countries that they're going to be evolved. This is the UK in 1970s, US 1870s, US 1973, 2010, China coming up, US coming there, India is coming up. So you need to understand where the money is coming from. Because these are the countries where the money and the demand will be generated. The other thing that you've got, and I'm not going to go into many details, I'm just going to show you a few things, is urbanization. Which are the big cities that they're going to have most of the people and where the GDP will be created? Because this is your target. And your target may be very, very dissimilar to what you've got currently. Urbanization, this is the big countries, and this is the level of urbanization you've got. And if you look at the bubbles, this is where most of the travelers will be generating from. So it's a geographical game at the same time, right? It focuses the mind. So, I'm not here to talk about demographics, I'm not here to talk about these things, but when you look in the world like that, it focuses your mind on where you concentrate and where the population growth is coming from and what happens in the south of Europe. You see, this is the reduction of population. So we'll have less people coming out from these countries. It's just different the way we're going to go about these things. When you look into population pyramids, it's quite interesting. Italy is dying. What is wrong with that? Sorry. Scusi. You need more babies in Italy.
We're on hot Italian.
China. Look at the pyramids. And also, and I have India somewhere there, because India is quite interesting.
Sure.
India, this is 2050. Look at the pyramids and what's happening. So all these things are very, very critical because this is where your customers are coming from, right? Now, there are other social things like we are accumulating wealth and at the same time we've got so many people who are so poor. This is the Meals on Wheels in the US. This is the 1,000 euros generation. That was before the crisis. Now if they get 400 euros, they're happy. So again, we need to look into all those things. And we need to look into what's happening in tourism. What some people call over-tourism, and there are so many people around that we're creating problems. Touristas equal terroristas, and tourists go home. There are a lot of those things that we need to look after, and we need to look into tourist, your luxury trip, it's my misery. We need to understand how we operate with those things, because they're not going to go away. They're going to just be a little bit more complicated. And then you've got all these artificial facilities that they are coming out to do things that we cannot do, and a lot of artificial things. the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who will change the world. But to change the world, you need to understand where the world is going and what tools we have got to actually do that. So I'm here to talk about technology really, not because I'm technology, I'm really strategic management marketing person looking at technology as a tool on how we're going to get there. This is machines that I used in the past. This is my first Apple computer. This is my treasured mobile phone for a long time. When I started working in hotels in 1985, I learned how to use this machine. That was technology. For those of you who are old enough, you may remember it. I still find it in Africa sometimes. I'd like to buy one of these things for my grandchildren if I ever have grandchildren and say, hey. So technological environments. I mean, Tony covered a lot of these things yesterday in terms of technology, but we're looking to ambient intelligence, wearable computers, personalization, robots and machines, computerized video checkouts, electronic guest rooms, social media and user-generated content, and consumption. The consumer is actually producing hospitality and tourism quite a lot. I'm not going to play this video. This is, you may have seen this. This is when Hotels.com was launching the mobile application. Because at that time, you could book a hotel through a mobile application, right? The only problem is that this was only 5 years ago, or 8 years ago. So now nobody's kind of get excited about these things because it's every day with it. What we are doing in Bronx University, and this is what is really exciting, is we are looking into smart tourism and artificial intelligence on how it's going to change the tourism ecosystem around the world, how it's going to change the way we're doing work, and how technology will support sustainable smart tourism and hospitality and all the strategic developments that go around these things. And this is an open invitation for all of you who can get excited about these things, come and work with us. Because we cannot do it alone, and you cannot do that alone. So if we collaborate, like Tony was saying yesterday, that's the opportunity to actually do that. This is kind of what artificial intelligence, machine learning, data mining, statistics, and all those areas are coming together to create the future. And the future is here already. I'm talking about 2030, but actually it's around the corner. I'll try to play this video. I couldn't get sound early on out of my computer. This is Google. I'm going to play it and then you'll see what.
As I said earlier, our vision for our system is to help you get things done. It turns out a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. You want to get an oil change schedule, maybe call a plumber in the middle of the week, or even schedule a haircut appointment. You know, we are working hard to help users through those moments. We want to connect users to businesses in a good way. Businesses actually rely a lot on this, but even in the US, 60% of small businesses don't have an online booking system set up. We think AI can help with this problem. So let's go back to this example. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
How can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like, what service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now? Okay, we have at 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks, great. Have a great day. Bye.
Yeah.
The second example is from hospitality. Watch carefully and listen carefully how many mistakes the person is doing versus the computer. The human is making so many mistakes on the next one.
We've been working on this technology for many years. It's called Google Duplex. It brings together all our investments over the years in natural language understanding, deep learning, text-to-speech. By the way, when we are done, the assistant can give you a confirmation notification saying your appointment has been taken care of. Let me give you another example. Let's say you want to call a restaurant, but maybe it's a small restaurant which is not easily available to book online. The call actually goes a bit differently than expected. So take a listen.
Can I hear you?
Hi, I'd like to reserve a table for Wednesday the 7th.
For 7 people?
It's for 4 people.
4 people when? Night?
Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Oh, actually we reserve for like after like 5 people. For people you can come.
How long is the wait usually to be seated?
For when tomorrow or?
For next Wednesday, the 7th.
Oh no, it's not too busy. You can come for 4 people, okay?
Oh, I gotcha. Thanks.
Again, that was a real call. In many of these examples, the calls quite don't go as expected.
We have a lot of examples where the tourism industry is not following the competitiveness that we're trying to achieve. Smartness is taking advantage of interconnectivity and interoperability of integrated technologies to re-engineer processes and data in order to produce innovative services, products and procedures towards maximizing the value for stakeholders. What is interesting on smartness is what Tony was talking about last night, the collaboration bit. When I was studying marketing and when I started teaching marketing, it was how do I have a product that I'm selling? It was one organization, we're trying to get as much control as we could, and there was one organization trying to improve competitiveness. Smartness brings ecosystems together, networks, and brings the interconnectivity, interoperability of networks together. So it's not about the competitiveness of one, but it's the competitiveness of the system. And that is dramatically different because we're not set up thinking-wise, technology-wise, system-wise to actually do that. It really re-engineers all the products and processes and everything that we do and brings interoperable, interconnected and mutually beneficial systems and stakeholders to provide infrastructure to co-create value for all. This is, again, it's very, very different. In the past, we had people bargaining with each other. Can I reduce your price? I really need to reduce your price, and the hotelier was saying, no, you need to increase my price. So it was that kind of negotiation and push left and right. Increasingly, we're going to those kind of systems. There's a lot of publications that we're doing on this kind of area. If you really want to see them, send me an email and I'll send you the right links. But what this says is that it's not about technology. It's all about people, leadership, and technology coming together on the value co-creation ecosystem to do all kinds of great things. There's a lot of research going behind that I can do. So smartness is really the agility towards co-creation that brings the networks together through collaboration at the destination level or the ecosystem level to bring all those benefits to everybody who is involved around them. And a group like GHS and the services that they offer, and what Tony was talking about last night, it's really about creating an ecosystem of of promoting your products through collaboration and competition to a certain extent, because you compete and collaborate at the same time, and connecting with a whole range of different players through the infrastructure that's being created. So another word I'd like you to take away when you leave from here is context. Let me tell you a little secret. Nobody goes to hotels to stay in hotels. People don't go to hotels to stay in the hotel. I love Pestana. I've worked with the Pestana company before. Arthur, who is the general manager here, is an old friend. But I didn't come to Pestana to stay in the room. I had a bed to sleep. I came here because Tony invited me to come here to speak to you. So there's always a reason behind. Okay? And this reason is really the context. And the context is internal context and external context. We need to understand the external context. Do you know what's the external context today? Brexit. A cold afternoon, but dry. Okay, if it was raining, you wouldn't really like to walk around in the rain. It is January, it is sales, or clearing almost, for those of you who are thinking about shopping. So this is the external context. All those things are creating the reasons why we're here. So what technology is doing is bringing travelers together with the travel industry on this side. You've got all the interconnected devices in the middle. You've got all the social media and the context that's happening here. And this is becoming the marketplace where we need really to set up products and services in order to attract our customers to come and stay in our hotels, because they don't come to stay in our hotels because they just want to come and stay in our hotel. There is a reason coming there. So this is the internal, the external factors, and we need to understand all of those things, from emotional status, abilities, disabilities, personal events, topics of interest, goals, preference, likes, approaches, all kinds of things coming together. Now, where do we get this information? We've got a lot of sensors around that we're collecting information in real time. We analyze this information in real time. So we can understand what is the traffic like. You're going to give me 5 minutes. I've got another 5 hours to go through, so okay, we'll try. So we are collecting all this information, and very quickly we're looking towards our context. We collect a lot of information from social media and understand what's happening. If I go on Twitter right now, I can see what's the mood in London. What's the mood in the UK? What people are talking about the UK? If I fence the area and I look into what are the tweets around London, I can guarantee you 60% of the tweets today will be about Brexit. There's a guy called Brian Solis who are bringing the reputation management and the conversation prism, and says that is you in the middle. You listen, you engage, you learn, you co-create with your customers, and all the information is going on all kinds of social media and all kinds of different online platforms and devices. And you really need to understand that in order to understand how you can improve you. You is your brand, you is your company. And you need to understand how to engage with the publics in real time. They may say something wonderful, they may say something really, really bad. Yesterday I checked in, I went to a very nice room upstairs. And I was so pleased, and I really want to please Pestana. So I put on my Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wonderful to be back with friends. Only 25,000 people saw that from my different media. And very targeted kind of media. So it's the power of the influencers. And of course, China, it's another world, so they've got different Chinese social media, so we need to understand those. Increasingly, we'll have wearables that are going to tell us a lot of things about ourselves, how fast your heart beats and when you get excited, when different things happen. And increasingly, we'll know everything. Father, I've seen.
I always. Yeah.
Do you know your customer? Do you know when your customer is coming through? I know that you're all salespeople. You're going out and you're trying to sell contracts, right? I can tell you a little secret. The contract is sold better based on the last customer experience. Do you know what was the last customer experience? And when you go and knock doors, do you say, hey, this is what your customer said on their social media. Look at the pictures they took of the food that they had in my hotel. And we've got beacons to send information out and get people to understand it. Increasingly, we've got this kind of holistic approach to those things. From the dreaming phase, to the planning phase, to the booking phase, to the experience phase, to the sharing phase. Most of the work that we've done in tourism and technology, and I've been working on this for about 30 years, is really about booking phase. We are trying to create a booking system. And I'll tell you something, this is the easiest bit ever. It's basically a database that is filtered by some criteria. How much can you pay? Where would you like to stay? It's basically database management. Simples. Then we expanded a little bit back to planning and to provide more information. I'm doing a lot of work about people with disabilities and when they travel and how they travel. And people with disabilities have got special needs and special requirements. So they need to do double or triple the planning, because for you and I, going up three floors on the steps may be slightly inconvenient, but for some other people it's just impossible. So most of the tourism and technology and the hospitality and technology is here, so far. All the research that we're doing is really about this phase. Can I dream of London? Can I dream of Mumbai? Can I dream of Mallorca? Can I dream of Madeira? What will make me take a holiday to Madeira tomorrow? Book a holiday to Madeira tomorrow? What is the context? What is the purpose? And how your systems and what you are pushing forward is going to make you dream of a place to go to a place. The second thing is the experience phase. Once I arrive to a place, how is my experience? And how can I manage this experience digitally and online? If people are in your hotel and they're putting a note up, would you react? I start at hotels, I'm just waiting when someone is going to pick the things I put yesterday. I put a compliment, wonderful place, back with friends. Hashtag Pestana, at Pestana Bridge, where we Chelsea Bridge, at Pestana Hotels. And I'm waiting to see when Pestana, the social media of Pestana, is going to come back and say, hey Buhalis, welcome back. Lovely to have you with us. I could have equally put something bad, I don't like that, right? When are you going to pick up the clue to go back and change your service? Because the new generations, and I'm not a new generation, but because of what I do in my work, I'm on the cutting edge of this kind of technology kind of thing. They're not going to call reception and complain that the shower is not working. That they only have, 3 capsules of Nespresso in my room and I need another 5. They're gonna put on their social media and they say, hey, I need some, because that's what they do. And I work a lot with different places, Hotel Icon in Hong Kong, Aliathan Resort in Cyprus, where we're seeing that with customers doing that every time. So what's happening is that, and also the sharing phase is coming back to experience phase. Because I used to be a photographer. We used to go to a trip, take a lot of pictures, come back, develop the films, and show the pictures, right? This is so 80s. Now we're going back to, we experience and we narrating, we have a storification of what we experience in real time. So it's not 2030, it's actually tomorrow. I would argue that you need to concentrate on dreaming. Make people dream about your place. Please don't put out pictures of empty rooms, empty restaurants. They look like you had a nuclear attack and everybody died. The only thing that's left is the furniture, right? And please start concentrating on the experience. What's happening now? This is based on research we've done about conceptualizing the technology-enhanced experience. And it's really about when you look into tourist experience, is before they're coming, during they're coming, after they're coming, right? And you need to provide different technologies and different support throughout. And then we're going to this stage, we're co-creating the experience in real time. This will be the most interesting thing. How we collect data and how do we go into real time? How do we analyze data in real time and come back with propositions in real time? And this is not 2030, it's happening now. Okay, towards co-creating experience and towards having all those things that they emerge in the future. I'm told I have got to shut up, but you've got the other events where you can come up and we can continue the conversation. So I'll go straight to the goodbye slide. You can see what else I've got to tell you, but hey, you need to come to other. That's a little bit about robots. That is my favorite slide. Not everybody will survive in the future. Those who have vision, and digital is part of the vision, are going to do a good job. Thank you very much.